So we can separate knowledge into two categories, so knowledge by description and knowledge by acquaintance. And knowledge by acquaintance is like familiarity with something, it's having a feeling for it. Knowledge by description is different, it's the ability to describe something. So the way you just like know how to ride a bike or just like feel that it's cold when you go outside is knowledge by acquaintance. Whereas knowledge by description isn't just like an internal feeling or understanding you have, it's something you can actually put into words. So, like a thermometer telling you it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit outside gives you knowledge by description. And one critical difference between the two is that you can convey knowledge by description from person to person. So, for example, I can put into words that my birthday was Monday, and if I tell you that, you now know it. But something like how to ride a bike is just a feeling that you like intuitively have. It's knowledge by acquaintance. And I could tell you, okay, like try to balance and pedal or whatever, but that's just the knowledge by description aspect. And for you to really learn how to ride a bike, you have to go out and get on a bike yourself and get a feel for it. So, it's a bit unclear because in English we use the same word like know for both types of knowledge. Like in Spanish, there's a difference between saber and conocer, and conocer is more about familiarity. So maybe like Spanish-speaking people would be more receptive to this distinction, but I don't know though. But the point is there's a difference between having a feeling for something and being able to describe something. Like a textbook describing how to ride a bike isn't a substitute for having a feeling for riding a bike. And so an issue this raises is even if you're really good at something like riding a bike, what you have might be knowledge by acquaintance, and the only thing you can give other people is knowledge by description. So like even if you know how to kick a soccer ball, like you can shoot super well, like perfect upper 90 with great form. That form isn't necessarily like something you can actually teach someone. All you can give them is the knowledge by description. Like you can tell them, okay, look up, look at the ball, look up again, hit it with this part of your foot, follow through, and so on. But like obviously, you don't go through all that in your mind when you kick a ball. You just kick it. So what this means is, like for League, there's a similar problem with any type of guide because what a good player has is mainly knowledge by acquaintance. Like a difference between a challenger Jana and a diamond Jana might just be like having a feeling for where to position. So, they have knowledge by acquaintance about how to play, but remember that's not necessarily transferable. And like you can describe, okay, you want to be positioned to save your carries, but any descriptions have to be extremely vague since League is such a situational game. And this seems like a big problem that's going to undermine any guide that we play using knowledge by acquaintance because all you can really put in the guide is knowledge by description. And I think, this is a big problem. And the result is that like what any guide can do for you is very limited and no like substitute for practice. So that's the biggest takeaway that like the main way to get better, which you really just can't get around, is just like playing games because that's like the only way to get a feeling for the game. But I mean, then it seems like guides are completely useless. So it'd be nice if we could find something they're good for. And it does seem like there are things about League that you can put into words. Like you can buy certain items and take certain runes and masteries and stuff. And like that stuff can be knowledge by description, so you can learn it from a guide. And even beyond that, like getting a little bit into your actual gameplay, like you can learn guiding principles or just be pointed in the right direction. So for example, that's what I was trying to do with like the how to hit karma Q video. Like it explains what you should do, but actually getting a feeling for how to execute it requires just like actually going into games and like throwing cues in those situations yourself. And so I think this creates problems for a lot of guides because you would like a guide to be like, okay, I'm an expert on this champion. Read my guide. Now you're an expert on that champion too. But since the knowledge by acquaintance matters so much, and you can only get that by playing, any guide that like I think any guide that implies it's sufficient for learning a champion is misleading because a guide is really just like a supplement. It gives you the knowledge by description and like points you in the right direction, but like you still have to do the hard work yourself. But like the expectation people have going in might be like, okay, I just need to read 20,000 pages of how to play Karma, and then I'll know how to play Karma. So like, for example, I made a short Lulu guide explaining just like the play style and basically what can I think be conveyed about it in terms of knowledge by description. And it's not like mind blowing, but I think it would have been nice if I had it when I started playing Lulu, so I could have learned her faster. But like that's the thing, people expect a guide not just to like help you learn faster, but to actually like teach you how to play Lulu. But like I think all a guide can really do is teach you how to learn how to play Lulu. Um, or wait, let me say it. It can teach you how to learn how to play Lulu. Yes. You can't learn how to play Lulu from a guide, but you can learn how to play Lulu from a guide. Um, and the way you do that is just playing games and practicing following the principles in the guide. But like that's not what they're expecting, right? They're expecting a guide that will just teach you how to play Lulu. But like I don't think that's possible. And I'm not gonna, act like it is and claim it is by making a guide that you can just read and like now you know how to play the champion. Also, as a side note, I think some people were mad because like, okay, I've played Lulu for a month now. I'm gonna tell you all you like Lulu mains how to play your champion because I know better than you about this champion. That's part of your identity. So that may have been part of it too. But like the main criticism of the actual content of the guide was that like it's just basic stuff. And but like the thing is, at least in my view, like that's all you should be looking to take from a guide. It should just be like, okay, here's a good play style to try. This is how you go about it, and then you actually do that and learn it yourself by playing games because the guide can't do that for you. So like just to recap, there's a difference between knowledge by description and knowledge by acquaintance. And the former can be put into words and taught, but we use the latter a lot while playing League. So your approach to a guide should be to use it within the limits of what it can actually be used for, which is just getting a good approach to take while playing. And to actually get good at that approach, you need to practice playing it because, the guide can only give you the knowledge by description of the play style. And to actually get a feeling for that play style, you need to just try playing it yourself so that you can learn how to execute it.